What is going on, guys? It's TK, and today I'm going to show you if the Electro Dragons are still a viable strategy or they are completely dead. So let's dive in and see how Town Hall 17 have changed the meta forever. Here we are on the first attack, and I have this Electro Dragon strategy for you guys today. So the equipments on the king will be the spiky ball and the equip boots. The equipments for the Grand Warden is because we have 4 rages in this army. I went with the life gem because it did get a buff, which means the dragons are going to have more HP. Now for the flame flinger, you're gonna see on some of the attacks, I'm really enjoying the way it can give you such a nice funnel, but one of the downside is that you may end up time failing. So you need to really watch out and give the flame flinger around 1 minute 1 or like 1 minute 10 second basically time. So now what I'm doing is kind of scanning the base, see where I can drop some archers maybe and some maybe early cleanups, and also of course the sweepers, how I can take them down with the giant arrow. Some things that I may have missed in the 30 seconds of planning, the flame flinger easily give you that extra time to think. So now we do have a baby dragon to funnel one of the sides of the kind of the Electro Dragons drop, and the other one is for the other side, but sometimes you may not need to use it because the flame flinger does get a nice funnel. Now king and queen will be deployed together. Queen, of course, you're gonna have the giant arrow and the healer puppet, and for the minion prince, I think personally the because you have the phoenix, sometimes minion prince could end up going completely like really further away from your army. I would suggest the new equipment if you have it already leveled up. If you don't, go with the old equipment that was the minions, like I don't remember the name, or the hatchman or something. But on these attacks, what I have is the minion prince pants, just because I feel like it gives me more value when he kind of moves away from the army. Now with the Electro Dragons, you want to double rage and early warden ability into the base, and look at the funnel we have given these Electro Dragons. A really nice funnel, and this is where you drop your free spells. One thing I would suggest is free spells on the monolith, single inferno, enemy, super minion clan castles, spell towers, maybe air defenses that you have, for example, one E-Dragon going near it so you can freeze it and get the value. And you can see the minion prince ability, absolutely beautiful, going to rage this lower side as we dive into the base deeper and deeper. I missed the ricochet cannon, and this is why my queen is gonna unfortunately die. She would be alive and this would have been a crushing attack, but it's gonna get a lot closer. Now what happened to the Electro Dragons when they went a bit after that base is something that it used to happen as well. Some people don't realize this. Now this is where usually your royal champion, king, queen, and maybe their abilities would have kind of taken care of the rest of the base. There are some really crushing dragon attacks like the Electro Dragons back in the day, whereas the dragons themselves completely cleared the entire base. Sometimes you may kind of swag or see, but on these dragons on Tunnel 17, because you choose to go with Minion Prince, you don't have that RC at the end. At least, I mean, yeah, if you want to take the RC instead of the Minion Prince, you're free to go, but I wouldn't really take the king out of this army because he's such a good tank in front of the queen. But let's move on to the second hit. Now we are up against an Invis Rage combo. So what you want to do is, of course, send your dragons straight into the core, because there is nothing that can really take it out in this strategy, right? So going with the flame flinger on this side to get the air defense and slight bit of funnel, so our dragons have nicer path. And now it's all about the other side. How do you funnel that ricochet cannon? So on this army, I do have a giant. It's for those flame flinger values, and you can change the giant and a baby dragon and take a wallbreaker, or maybe count a few loons out and take a wallbreaker. That works nicely as well, so you can give your king and queen more value. But I didn't see like the value with the wallbreaker too much, because whenever you wallbreak your heroes, there is a high chance they're gonna go into the next layer and take that CC, like pull the CC, and you don't really want that with the dragons. So now what I'm trying to do is with a nice queen arrow to activate the invisibility tower, and we're diving behind the sweepers. One of the good things about this strategy is that you can do that, and yeah, you don't have to always go to the sweepers. It's space depending, of course, but yeah, in the current meta, you can do that really nice with the dragons. So You can see how we're getting the funnel from the left and we're getting the funnel from the right by the queen, so everything goes to the core really nicely. This is where you choose to go with rage, ward and ability, or minion prints and then later ward and ability. But because we do have the Electro Dragons really low and the rage tower activated before I wanted to pop that minion print, I went with the ward and ability. Freezing and looking at that core is getting crushed. Double rage again, and notice here is where the damage is a lot. We do have a lot of major defenses in Town Hall 17, a lot of them. And if you want to kind of count how many that would be, I can technically put it in perspective as in we got one extra ricochet cannon and one extra multi-archer tower, two new defenses with the first drop of that Town Hall 17. They are all major, and then another major big defense, the multi-gear cannon, or not cannon, kind of the gear tower, let's say. And these are all the major defenses that can really melt those E-Dragons, even though you saw how crushing we went through the core. But at the end, there is not much left. This is exactly how every dragon, like every E-Dragon attack came down to for me in this exact strategy against multiple base styles. So that's why I'm like, is this strategy dying? Is this really the strategy you want to kind of look for? Like 30 seconds to go, you have like really low HP heroes, nothing left to clean up really, you know. It's not a clean strategy that you are like, oh my god, I crushed this base. Every time I thought I crushed the base when my dragons were in the core, they were full HP, I had rage, freeze, and then boom, ward and ability. I was like, oh my god, this base is getting wrecked. And then, well, where did the dragons go? Now, this is again the damage that Town Hall 17 brings, and that's the good thing about having the king in front of your queen, otherwise she's cooked. Next up, a double poison. Now you can see I'm bringing you multiple kind of variety of bases. Core, you know, in the town hall in the, you know, kind of around the corner, town hall around the core, you know, different styles with different spell towers. And the next one is going to be a double rage, which you're going to see what happens. So we do have the flame flinger again on the lower side, trying to get some value and also some funnel. What I saw on this base was dragons kind of getting the value, but because if you see the core, everything is really separated. You can see every defense on this base is quite separated, except some of the ones that are on the outside, which means if you get nice chain values, this base could really go down hardcore. Now, we do got a funnel on the lower side. I wanted to go complete opposite side. Unfortunately, my queen gets targeted, so I'm going to go with the freeze on the monolith. I do have the king to go in front of the queen with the nice value, and this is where the CC pool come in, and that's why I didn't want to take wall breakers on any base, because look, I would not have wall bricked here if the wall was closed, but the good thing is the wall was open for the base builder, so everything went in and pulled the CC. It's unfortunate, but we still got 2 rages and a few free spells. Freezing on the town hall is a really good thing, and if you're going opposite side of 2 spitters, make sure you freeze them as well. And of course, that cannon, which is the other side of the town hall, is looking really scary. This rage spell, I really wanted to use it, so I went with the freeze so my dragon can go, and he missed that new defense, man. I don't know still what to call it. I'm gonna call it the devil cannon or something. I don't know. But the minion prince, and the beauty thing about the minion prince is that he has the phoenix. So a lot of the areas where he goes alone and it's not into his ability, he can really take down an entire base down. Like, that's why I'm saying if you take the pants and the minion prince is by himself, if you pop that pants and then the entire base adding to the phoenix will get completely destroyed. That's the good thing about minion prince. He's like literally a royal champion that is kind of flying around hitting everything and have a freeze ability. You know, it's really good having that minion prince right now in this strategy, but obviously, as you can see again, we're kind of running short on those archers and minions for the cleanup, but we do have time, because not like the other attacks where it was very low, we didn't give flame flinger too much time to work. And you can see the more you spend on the flame flinger, the more stress you're gonna have at the end of the attack. So once the air defense is down with your flame flinger, start your attack. Don't put too much pressure on yourself and just start it and get the triple. So let's move on and see what happens in the last attack. So, a double rage base setup. Now, I believe this was Ninja base in the World Championship warm-up. So, it's a really good base. I even had it, but like I removed it from my account so long ago because I wanted to run it in the warm-ups. Now, the thing about this base is that I thought if we go directly into the town hall, our dragons can cook this base from those rage towers. Like a few nice chain values with rage and freeze warden ability after town hall would be insanity. But you're gonna see what happens because obviously rage and a nice CC is one of the key things to stop an Electro or Air Dragon's attacks. But on this base, I was like, you know what? I kind of feel like I'm gonna crush this base every time. But this is what you don't want to do. You don't want to hype yourself too much, okay? So Flailing on the lower side got the value. I'm still going to give him a bit more time, but I really wanted to start my attack, and I knew there is Tesla farms around the Ricochet cannon. So as you see, the good thing is we do have the king. Going with the Loon Warden, more Loons and the Minion Prince right behind. I should have froze the Town Hall and the Fire Spitters here, because with the Tornado Trap and the Giga Bomb and the Town Hall Poison, like the Poison drops, it was really toxic and I had to go with the early warden, and this is the mistake on this attack. So king and queen getting cooked by that ricochet cannon, the dragons following that witch clan castle, which means we're gonna completely lose out on the left hand side. But I'm still going with the rage, going with that beautiful minion prince ability. This is where you can see like the dragons losing everything, like they're getting cooked and there's a lot of base left. What happened is that, of course, those witch clan castles and the rage towers really hurt you because you can't freeze everything in a rage tower, and if you don't have the warden ability for it, well, it's gonna be tough. And because we don't have our sea walk or an opener, or the flame flinger isn't for a rage tower, or fireball, I don't know any of these crazy abilities for one of the rage towers, if the base has two, there's really a toxic way to take it down, and it's only to go through them both and have to pop the perfect warden ability, and it's gonna be slightly tough for that. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and think like, is the E-Dragons dead or not? I think personally they are usable, but I think there is way more variety of troops to use instead of them, and way more air spams to use, like Hydras and Mass Dragons, and maybe even those, you know, Inferno Dragons would work better. But the E-Dragons unfortunately was not the strategy for me, so I wanted to give it a try because I know a lot of you wanted to see how it works in Town Hall 17. And well, this is how it works, and hopefully if you like this army, the link down below in the description so you can use it in your legends or war attacks and enjoy yourself if you're still a E-Dragon attacker. But hopefully I will see you soon later. Take care and peace.